Hi everyone, my name is Mackenzie Patel and I'm CEO and co-founder of Hashbasis, a crypto-native accounting firm based in San Francisco. Okay, so now we're on to part 3 of Mackenzie's accounting journey, and we have finally made it to kind of where I am now, which is leading Hashbasis and running a crypto accounting firm. It's been quite the journey so far. Part 1 was my journey at University of Florida and getting my degree in accounting. Part 2 was my first big girl jobs in the real world, working at Honeywell and Figment. And now we're at part 3, which is where I decided to start my own firm and share my crypto accounting and tax knowledge with the rest of the industry. So let's go ahead and dive into it because I'm really excited for this one. So to situate ourselves, it's spring or April 2022. And I just moved to San Francisco as well. I moved to San Francisco in January of 2022. And I was trying to make friends. I didn't really know that many people outside my boyfriend. And so I would go to this meetup group called SF Blockchain Developers. And there I met a couple of good buddies, and one of them sort of implanted the idea in my head that I needed to start my own company. His reasoning was that crypto accounting skills were a lot more rare, even than smart contract developer skills, and that I could actually start a business around this. So this friend in particular that I mentioned before, he sent me a voice memo rant saying that I needed to quit my job and start my own company. And I had listened to this, it was just late one night. And then that night I actually had a fever dream about this future firm that would hopefully become reality. And in my fever dream, I was half awake, half sleeping, I thought of the name Hashbasis. Now I know how crazy that sounds, but at least in my mind, I think that's the way it happened. And it's a play on both cash basis, which is a fundamental accounting principle, and cost basis, which is a big crypto accounting concept, and crypto tax as well. That was in spring of 2022. I didn't immediately really act on this impulse because I still was really loving my work at Figment, and I didn't feel like I knew enough to up and quit and start my own thing. So in summer 2022, I started doing some very light planning on what I wanted to do, such as what services I wanted to offer, where I wanted to incorporate, just some really rough numbers on how much this thing would cost to get started in the first place. A part of me thought I wasn't actually going to do it. I'm one of those people that tends to have a lot of just outlandish pipe dreams that I don't actually end up doing a lot of the time. So part of me was like, no, I'm just going to be an employee and not actually do this. I wasn't really pushing myself to leave. I was still learning a lot at Figment, which is kind of how I gauge whether I need to stay somewhere or whether it's time to move on. So I didn't really feel that need to really move on. It was more just, I treated it almost like a side hobby or a side hustle. So one day though, a random person actually contacted Figment's CEO, and they wanted to get in contact with me because they had read this random article on proof of stake accounting that I had posted. And at that point, something kind of clicked for me. I was like, okay, if this is happening, people are going through Figment CEO to get in contact with me, then maybe I should actually start my own company. So I was already doing some part-time crypto tax work just for some of my friends. I was helping them out. And so I felt like I had some deal flow already, but this interaction with this random person on the internet just solidified that this was a sign, maybe that I should actually do this. But again, I was really scared. I was 25 at the time, or maybe I was 24, I forget. I think I was 25. And I just didn't know if I knew enough to actually do this, because it's kind of a big step, and when you start your own company, you're fully relying on yourself, especially when you're bootstrapping it. So I ended up asking someone to be my co-founder. Her name's Courtney. She's awesome. And she also works for Figment. She had actually taken on the rewards reporting that I was initially hired to do. Now, we had a great vibe together, and it worked out, and she became my co-founder. And so we had a lot of planning sessions at Hashbasis around what we wanted to do, and things like our brand colors, our marketing, our mission, our vision, all that kind of good stuff. I wanted to kind of run through some of the logistics in case you're curious or you want to start your own firm. This is kind of where we started. And again, we had no idea what we were doing. There's not a lot of content around starting your own crypto accounting firm, so we were just kind of starting from scratch. The first thing was coming up with a name. Now, I mentioned I'd come up with Hashbasis in a fever dream, but after the initial dream, I wasn't super sold on the name. I was like, I think we can do better. And so Courtney and I, we were brainstorming, and we come up with some funny ones, which I wanted to share. One of them was Saqqara, which is an ancient Egyptian city. Don't know why I came up with that, but I thought it was cool. And then Mr. Martino, which is actually, it comes from the Summa, which is the seminal textbook on accounting that Luca Pacioli wrote. And Mr. Martino was just one of the example customers in the Summa. But I thought that was kind of silly, so we didn't end up going with that. We just ended up going with hashbasis because there wasn't anything else that we liked better. The next part is coming up with logos and colors, and so I think we're a little bit lucky because I was like, oh, hashbasis, maybe we should do something with a hashtag. And then we actually asked DALL-E, that AI generated model, to come up with some kind of ancient Roman inspired hashtag logo, because I love ancient Rome, and I figured let's see what it comes up with. And it actually gave us a logo that looks very similar to the one that we have today. The next piece was getting our website together. So luckily, Courtney is a website ninja, and she put together our website in Webflow. But I remember we had a lot of design sessions about this, trying to figure out like what do we want the landing page to look like. And a big part of that is figuring out what services do we actually want to offer? How do we want to package this? How do we want to price this? And what does our intake form look like, for example? How are people going to get in contact with us? And how do we share our story and our mission and our values? There was a lot of just kind of infrastructure like that, and also more standard just company info, like setting up our bank account and getting insurance, setting up our QuickBooks account, getting Google Suite, Notion, Airtable, all of these things just kind of set up for the first time. And accounting specific, I had to get my PTIN, which allows me to file taxes, and also an EFIN, which allows hashbasis to electronically file returns on behalf of our customers. So a lot of bureaucracy kind of is going into this, but we also read a lot of industry-specific business content as well. And so the first book we read was Partnership Charter by David Gage, and that was great because that's specifically for people that are entering into a partnership. And so the partnership charter, it's not your incorporation documents, it's a separate doc that goes over what you want your partnership to look like, and also writes out different scenarios, like what you'll do if certain things happen. There's also a personality assessment as part of it. So a lot of soul searching within this process too. We also read Managing the Professional Services Firm, which is kind of an old school book on running a services firm. We listened to a bunch of CPE podcasts about starting your own firm. Shout out to Earmark app because we love listening to that. So just a lot, again, figuring out mission, values, vision, why exactly did we decide to go in business? What did we actually value? And what kind of culture did we want to create when we started hiring more people? So a lot of these big questions, and then we kind of took the plunge. We let Figment know, and then hashbasis was officially open for business on February 15th of 2023. It's been an incredible journey so far. We've helped DeFi, NFTs, Layer 1 protocols, gaming, different Web3 service providers, just the whole gamut. And it's been really great so far. And just to give you a sense for our services that we've landed on so far, our bread and butter is really the monthly crypto and fiat accounting. So businesses come in, they want someone to do their books on a monthly basis or a quarterly cadence. We'll help them do that. And I love that. It's one of my favorite things to do. We also do taxes, so filing business returns and also doing individual crypto tax. And also ad hoc consulting about crypto accounting, helping to train teams on how to do crypto accounting and also crypto software implementation. So basically setting up your crypto subledger. We have a lot of services now just because I've noticed there's definitely a need for it. There's not a lot of accountants that are still doing crypto accounting, especially after the bear market and all the things that happened last year and in 2022. So there's just a really big need for our services right now. Now, we've also done a lot of marketing. And by marketing, I mean basically just us going to conferences, giving speeches and presentations and writing content. So just some highlights. We went to ETH Denver last year. We went to EDOS again, so thank you, Bitwave. Cryptio also had the Crypto Finance Forum, which was another crypto accounting event. We were at QuickBooks Connect and also Ensuring Success. So we've spoken at a lot of conferences so far, and that's honestly so fun. We just get to meet really bright, interesting, and motivated people that are doing similar things as we are. Okay, so that's kind of where we are so far. Now, with the time that we have left, I wanted to just share some personal insights that I've had from being a business owner for a year now, and hopefully they'll inspire you to also start your own company, because honestly, it's been amazing. Of course, it's tough. I work a lot. I'm always thinking about my business. It's my life. It's my hobby, but it's also just incredibly rewarding, and I can't see myself doing anything else. So, okay, here's some insights that I have. So, first off, I have more flexibility than I ever imagined. Sometimes I go to the gym at 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. and nobody's there. It's like, wow, this is great. But I'm also extremely accountable because everything is on my shoulders as a CEO. So I might have flexibility, but I'm always, again, working and thinking about and planning for the future of hashbasis. Next, Being bootstrapped, I think really is the way to go. So we didn't raise any external capital. We just kind of put in some seed money just to pay for our expenses. But from there, we started earning money directly from our customers. So I can definitely see why venture capital works if you're creating a product, but in the services industry, you don't really need to do that. And honestly, it's nice not having additional bosses in the form of venture capitalists. Okay, one that I think is so funny. So I got this sticker. I think I got it at a conference actually, and it says, "I may cry, but I can still get things done." And that's just to say things are really tough when you're starting your own business. And so whenever I'm having a tough day and I just need to pick me up or something, I just look at that sticker and I think, you know what, even though things are really tough, I can still get things done. And I think that really translates to when you're an entrepreneur, you have to have a lot of grit and just kind of keep going even when things are really tough, right? Like if you quit, it's, you know, you just can't quit. Okay, next thing that I learned is that I can't actually say yes to everything. I'm very much a people pleaser and I say yes, or tend to say yes all the time. But it's really hard to keep doing that and still do good work and be sustained and be a happy, healthy person. And so I had to endure and learn the discomfort of saying no to people in terms of, you know, maybe a customer wants to work with me, but they're not a great fit. I had to tell them no. Or a customer wants me to do certain work for them that's not within our scope. I had to tell them no. And so I'm still working at getting better at this, but it's definitely helping me get a better willpower and just more confidence and strength in myself. The next thing, I don't really have any hobbies, as I mentioned. Hashbasis is kind of my life. I used to have a ton of hobbies, like I love cooking, ancient Rome, calligraphy, but I don't really have time for those hobbies anymore. And I think that will change, especially as I hire someone and remove myself more from the day-to-day work of it. But I think just when you're starting a company early on, just don't be under any illusions like you are going to work a lot of the time and not really have any hobbies. So just to kind of give you a sense for what do I actually spend my time on, because it is not 100% work, and I also want to make that clear. A decent chunk of my day is spent on Hashbasis work, but I also like to hang out with my friends and my family. I call my family multiple times a week. I love spending time with my fiance, of course, hanging out with him and planning our wedding. Also, I think it's important to make time for exercising. I'm so glad I developed that habit before I started Hashbasis, because I can definitely see how it's easy to cut out exercise first. To be like, no, I want to work on this client work and not go for a swim or go for a run or weight lifts. So I do spend at least 1 to 1.5, 2 hours a day exercising, like going to the gym, just because it's really important. And just chores. I spend time cooking, cleaning, things like that. Okay. Next learning is that I am an accountant, but I tend to run my business more on feeling and intuition and judgment than hard numbers. I really just try to tap into my intuition, because with businesses, like, yes, I can read my financials, I can make a forecast, but a lot of the times it comes down to your gut and trusting what your gut is telling you to do in a certain situation. And that's really a huge takeaway, and I think I'm gonna leave it there for takeaways, is follow your gut. Whether you're an entrepreneur, or you're an employee, or you're a student, your gut knows what to do in 99% of situations. And if something feels off, don't do it. If something feels really good, maybe lean into it more. So overall, the Hashbasis journey has been incredible so far. We're currently hiring for a senior accountant just so we can take on more customers and serve more people. There's actually a talent crisis or a talent shortage of accountants in the US right now, and I'm hearing it from my clients. I get a lot of leads and they're like, I can't find an accountant to take me on, and especially if you have crypto, it's doubly hard to find an accountant. So we'd like to expand, definitely, and also go to more conferences, do more speaking engagements, because it's really fun to connect and interact with the community, and overall just grow our brand and increase our quality. We want to be there for our customers because we love helping you guys out. That's, you know, why we're here. So overall, 2023 was phenomenal. As I said, looking forward to 2024. Stay tuned on our channel to hear more Hashbasis updates and also just more fun technical accounting videos, because my goal is to do more of those. And thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you all later.